Hey guys, what is going on everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Crash Bandicoot Remastered video showcase. This was actually footage that was provided to me by the wonderful folks over at Activision, more specifically, Justin. You know who you are. Thank you so very much for getting this stuff captured. So they had a preview event where you could play the game, and many people had their hands on it. So I was sent just some gameplay, didn't unfortunately get to make it out there this time around, but who knows, maybe in the future. Basically, during this gameplay event, they let you play a few different levels of the Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is like the third Bandicoot game, and this is the remastered version of the gameplay. So there will be 3 different levels or 3 different sections that you will be seeing. I tried to edit them down a little bit so we're not like looking at the entirety of the footage, but I also did want to get a bit of a discussion going about the actual game and what do you guys think about it. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you looking forward to this title? Will you be picking it up? And so on and so forth. I also do want to clarify this once again. I was simply sent the footage. This is not like a sponsored video or anything like that. So if it was, I would let you know, trust me. All right, so with that in mind, let's get rocking and let's get it rolling here with some gameplay. I have to say, the first thing that I noticed, I actually did tweet this out, cheap plug, follow me on Twitter, it's @Blitzwinger, and essentially, what I realized was, as I was watching this footage, because I have seen it once before, just kind of like, wanted to familiarize myself with what we're actually looking at, will the gameplay be intriguing and so on and so forth. And the thing that really kind of made me think for a moment, and another thing that also made me think to an extent also of Ukulele, is the fact that older titles had way less stuff going on screen. They did add this like rain mechanism, which looks awesome. I think they did a great job with that. The character models look great. I really like that it feels still like old school Crash, but it's updated. So again, I was never a huge fan of Crash Bandicoot. So maybe, if you're a super hardcore fan of Crash, something is off for you personally. You're like, I would just like it to look exactly like the old game, which if that's the case, you could just go and play the old game, because that's why I sometimes get confused when like a remaster gets released and people don't like what they've done. It's like, you do know the original game still exists, right? It's not like it's like deleted from history suddenly because the remaster is now out. So hopefully that's clarified now for some folks who are not aware that that is the case. When a game gets remastered, it doesn't mean that the original one disappears. But back to the topic at hand, I had to say, like, I was watching the footage, I was like, there's like almost nothing going on, like in the backgrounds. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting how, if you look at a lot of more recent games, we love, like, open world games are hugely popular right now and have been for a little while now. And when you just look at them, you realize, like, wow, okay, Crash, sorry, that was a little awkward. He got cut in half there. And there you go. That's a much better strategy. Just throw him right into the explosive box there. And it's kind of intriguing to see that the title the titles have evolved to be so much busier. We have so much more stuff going on. You have way more AI all over the screen. Every little thing on the screen is trying to like grab your attention, keep your attention on the game, make sure that you're not like, well, I'm done with this game, I don't want to play it no more. It's very intriguing. I wonder if that correlates with our attention deficits that we now have most of the time nowadays. So that would be very, very interesting to do like some sort of a study as to how much busier games have gotten, like how much busier in the sense of how much more stuff is going on at all times. Like, I feel like if Crash Bandicoot were to be released in this day and age, the screen being like this, how it is right now, with the background just being still and quite empty, would be just unacceptable. People would be like, well, what do you mean? We have to have like 14 different things going on in the background. Somebody should be dabbing. Somebody's got to be dancing. We got to have way more health, because it's impossible to have a one shot. Like, look at that. Boom. Oh, wait. Look at that. You see, can you imagine? Can you imagine playing a game nowadays where you get hit once and you're, boom, back right to the checkpoint that you were at before? That is going to require some steel nerves for some folks. Like, there's going to be a lot of rage quit videos, I think, when people are playing this game. But I think that's going to make for some hilarious videos as well. So I guess time will tell how that will unfold. I personally am really looking forward to the challenge of Crash Bandicoot, because I remember playing in Uncharted 4, if you did not know. Spoiler alert, at this point it's been out for ages though. But there was an Easter egg with Crash Bandicoot, like you could play a level. And I remember playing that, I was like, wow, like this Crash is so much more challenging than Uncharted. And I just realized to myself, like, wow, this is insane. I really, really, really need to replay this game, and not only replay it, but do a good job, because I feel like my entire credibility as a gamer was on the line, because I was like, what, how am I doing this badly all the time? Like, it was consistently bad performances, which is incredibly frustrating for me personally. But I'm hopeful that, of course, with the re-release of the game, I'll be able to not only do well in the first, the second, but also this third Warped game as well. Now, I wanted to also get a couple of questions going to you guys and see what you guys think on the actual title. So as I mentioned before, will you be picking it up, yay or nay? And are you fond of the idea of having some remasters for titles like this, where a lot of people were somewhat complaining recently? I've noticed that they say, oh, well, remasters happen a little too soon nowadays, because you'll have, let's say, a game that comes out on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, and then just when the PS4 comes around, boom, those games, if there were several of them, get remastered and re-released. So several people have been complaining, like, hey, why are we all about remasters, and why is that happening, and so on and so forth, as we transition to a brand new level, by the way, which is awesome. This is probably my favorite of the three. Well, you'll see. The third one's really fun as well. It's a very pleasant surprise. But nevertheless, I really, really do think that this has a much better case for being remastered. I mean, these games are... I wonder, how old is Warped? I really don't know off the top of my head, because, again, I only got to play Crash 1 as a kid because PlayStation 1 games were just very, very, very expensive. I would get, like, one game a year for my birthday, and I'd play that game for an entire year until I get another game. So it was quite a long time, that's for sure. But let me double check when Warped came out. I want to say, oh man, darn it, I really don't remember. I want to say 1990. I mean 2000. No, it can't be that late, right? When was it? I really don't know. I really honestly do not know. I bet you it's a lot more recent than I think it is. But I mean, Warped was the last one, right? It was Crash Bandicoot, then it was Cortex Strikes Back, right? I think, and then it was Warped, and then they had like some of those like other games that were not particularly well regarded. A lot of which were like racing type games and such. So, like I remember, what was the racing one? Team Racing or something like that? I don't remember the name of it, but Warped was released in, let me double check, 1998, guys. Yikes, wowzers, that's crazy. That is absolutely bonanzas. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. So think about the fact that, of course, Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 were even prior to that. So I feel like if there's any title that deserves to get a remaster, this would be one of them. You know, I really do think that it makes sense. So hopefully there won't be any complaints about like, oh, they're doing it too soon and so on and so forth. But I wonder also like how receptive people will be to a remaster of a platforming game, because that's what I'm really intrigued to see. Like, will people say like, oh, these jumping mechanics don't hold up, or certain elements about the game, like I said before, things like, hey, the game feels sort of empty. And remember when I brought up Yooka-Laylee a little earlier? I feel like some of the reasoning as to why maybe a lot of people did not like Yooka-Laylee is, to an extent, is because it's a very like simple game, but I don't mean that as like a mean thing or like a negative thing. What I'm saying by that is like it doesn't have much going on, so therefore it doesn't really hold today's audience's attention. So I wonder if that will be something that this game will suffer from as well. I guess time will tell. To me personally, I think there will be a core audience that will enjoy this title. The people who were psyched about the fact that would see Sony executives wearing t-shirts with Crash Bandicoot's logo on it. So I'm sure that those folks will be quite happy to just get a Crash Bandicoot remaster, no matter the quality or the fact that, hey, it's even happening. Now, here we have the third and final bit of footage, which is, of course, from the racing side of things. And I know what you're thinking to yourself, like, hey, Blitz, is that you playing? Because this is about as terrible of driving as you would typically provide. No, it is not I. But thanks, I guess, kind of, sort of. Hey, let's see if we can get into first place. That would be pretty tremendously cool. And I have to say, racing looks pretty good. I don't know if there is like the drifting controls will be smooth or not. Unfortunately, for me personally, it doesn't matter how much racing footage I watch until I myself play it. Like for me, racing games and fighting games, sometimes shooters as well, but in particular those two titles feel super duper important to actually play, because for platformers and such, in most cases I feel like companies kind of have a pretty good grasp of how to properly have your character jump and things like that. But driving has to be so specifically intuitive, and it has to be so specifically like tuned to the style of the game that until I don't play it, I honestly cannot possibly comment on it. So hopefully as soon as I get my hands on the title, I'll be able to let you guys know if I enjoy it myself. With that in mind, ladies and gents, please do not hesitate. As I said before, let me know what you think of the Crash Bandicoot remaster. Will you be picking it up? And if so, which of the 3 titles are you most excited for? What other platformers do you think would be really cool to get a remaster for? Let me know down in the comment section below, because for me personally, going to the Nintendo side of things, I would love to get Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in like super high-res version on the Nintendo Switch. That would be awesome. Thanks all for watching, guys. Of course, like always, don't forget to hit that like button if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you folks later. Alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.